And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of nothing. My name is Chuck Bailey, and joining me as ever, super producer Ian Stimson, and live via satellite from Rwanda, Mr. Adam Pritchard. Gentlemen, how are you?
It's just nice to be let out of the cupboard, really.
Yeah.
You know?
I didn't want to respond because I wanted Adam to take it, and then I realised he might be doing I'm on a delay.
He is on a delay.
Yeah.
We're glad he's only been allowed 20 minutes, so this is going to have to be a brief one. I believe.
Yeah,
there
this was
are
my
other
one
people.
phone call. I'm not really sure I'm getting the best use out of it, but
Well,
What are we going to do with it? Come on.
for
listen,
content.
your sacrifice is noted. Excellently. How are things there? I'm going to keep it going. How are things over there? Are your captors treating you well?
Yeah, I mean, the kind of transition was surprisingly quick. I guess, Ian's in the halls of Tory power, so they obviously kind of got me out of the country as quickly as possible and into the least horrendous conditions.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You were very forward in making sure he was extradited. Most promptly, Ian, when we were at
especially
the
when
airport.
he turned up at the airport and pointed saying, "Yes, that's him.
That's
getting
the
out
one.
now."
Yeah.
The bastard.
Really upset him. I
I
don't
just
know.
think once you've made the
Sovereignty.
decision to leave the country, that's it. Just,
Just go to Rwanda, obviously.
directly to Rwanda. Do not pass go. Do not collect any benefits. I'm not a Tory, right? Okay. I'm so torn between playing up to this character and then realising that I hate myself internally so much.
I'm not a Tory. It's just my voting record that shows it.
I've never ever voted Tory, for the record, or for Brexit. Michelle, drop it, will you?
Never.
Bloody hell. Oh, God.
All that control. You enjoying it? Well, yeah, we're here again. Football. Football's been happening. Peterborough. Do you want to talk about Peterborough this week?
I do.
Oh, go on then.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We are fifth.
Ooh.
Darren Ferguson, never doubted him, ever. Don't delete all those episodes previously where I said it was mental.
Bad idea.
Yeah, Prince of the playoffs, Lord of London Road, Wizard of the Western Domes Stadium. I can't think of any more alliteration quickly. But yeah, we're into fifth, and we are looking good for the playoffs. What are the 538? Let's live do that. It's a fun thing to do, isn't it?
16% to get promoted.
Okay, we won't talk about that. 70% to get into the playoffs, though,
That's
which is
the
the
one
best
they
I
all
can
want.
hope for.
The trip to Wembley.
Oh, God, I know exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to somehow get through the semi-final, and it's going to be Peterborough Bolton in the final, and me and Tom Townley are going to go, and then he's just going to literally urinate on my face when Bolton beat us 5-0 as they did in the league earlier this season. Oh, man. So is it worse to get into the playoffs and then not get promoted after a Wembley? I don't know what I want.
I think I'd rather not get in, to be honest. Don't get your expectations up, and then you can't be disappointed.
Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it?
That's the spirit.
Now that we're back to 3 British men being on the pod, negatives. We started off so joyful. Yay! Oh, you're getting shat on. Who did you play this week?
Well, we've had wins over Easter, and I can't remember who, because they're all just... who are they? No. Well, we beat Derby while we were in America, didn't we? Who did we...
Listen, you've been dining out on that for a week now. Who did you play this week?
I know. Who do we beat Exeter 3-1 yesterday. Shit, I just did what I hate on Easter Monday. I've become everything I hate. We beat Shrewsbury 3-0 on Good Friday, and it was good, and he saw that it was good. But yeah, so now we're firmly ensconced in the playoffs, in the playoff places, although there's a lot of teams still.
Yeah. Lo, Darren Ferguson hath risen.
Yeah. Darren Ferguson came back 3 times. Jesus, only once. Idiot.
Think on that, Christians.
I think it's... Yeah. See, also, Exeter, I hardly knew her. That's enough about League One chat. Championship, well, I guess the news, we could do news. Do you want to press the button?
I've got a button.
Yeah, go on. Only story, Burnley are promoted. We all know...
Go on.
no, they're better than they ought to be.
See, that's Chuck's voice on the Burnley of the Week sting. People
is it?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, they've amassed 90 points. I believe there's still about 6 games left to play. Projected for 102. And obviously over 99% to win. It's a lot.
Show off.
Vinny Company. I mean, this is the problem, right? And we're the real victims here. What happens when Burnley come back into the Premier League and they're just like an actual good team? ?
Don't know if we have to worry about that.
Do you
to
not?
be honest, no. I mean, this tends to happen. Like, I can't remember. I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but how we've seen quite a few times. Well, exactly, and facts are, opinions. Like a lot of the time, clubs can absolutely burn through the Championship, and then they come into the league and they really struggle, mainly with squad depth. And
see also League One and the Championship.
Exactly, yeah, and this is not to kind of put any dampeners on Burnley or Vincent Kompany's achievements, because I think he's done quite a good job there, obviously. But yeah, I would suspect they'll probably struggle a bit next year.
So negative. I've only heard anything but positivity coming from Burnley, as you would, being promoted so early and
absolutely smashing it.
Nah, they're shy. I get what you mean. I mean, we'll see. It's one thing to get relegated as Burnley, who were previously such a stalwart of Premier League, well, literally overachievement.
Sludge.
So, yeah, we'll see. I really like Kompany, and I think he's obviously likely to have more interesting managerial and tactical ideas than Dyche ever did. I totally get what you're saying, especially with Burnley's financials as they are. We will see how they do.
God, imagine if Dyche's Everton get relegated so that Kompany's Burnley could rise.
Handshake on the way.
See you later.
Dear. Yeah, that could be good stuff.
I mean, it's also looking a little bit further down the table. Sheffield United are currently 95% to get promoted, and then our most likely playoff teams are Luton, Middlesbrough, Millwall. No one needs that. No one. Blackburn, Norwich, and Preston are kind of the teams that make up over 20%. So we're getting a couple of teams that we've seen before in recent history. Definitely don't want Millwall. Maybe we can get Blackburn or Luton. Luton up for the first time.
I'd quite want Middlesbrough, to be honest. I think they've got an ex. There's always an Arsenal angle. They've got an ex-Arsenal youngster, Chuba Akpom, who's kind of struggled to break through into like first team football in that kind of initial period of his career. And I think he's like 27 now, and he scored 26 goals for Middlesbrough. So he's like, maybe it's a case of he's found his level, but no, I think he seems to be doing quite well.
Found his level at 27. Yeah, maybe.
Hey, we're all trying, okay? No, I want Kenilworth Road in the Premier League. Yes. I want people to have to walk through people's houses to get into stands. That's what we want. So yeah, that's League One, Championship, tick.
God, amazing.
Yeah, there we go. Premier League. Woo! What's been happening? I went to Legoland. I didn't watch any of this. I've seen a bit. Football, scores. Okay. Let's do... Adam's here. Adam's back, and he's not got long left on his timer. So Liverpool 2, Arsenal 2, Liverpool XG 3.9 to Arsenal's 1.4. Ian, I'm gonna need that jingle again.
Oh my goodness, so early.
Oh dear.
Here will find
Yeah, Watford of the week again, I guess, because Liverpool absolutely fucking it. Like full stored FC being terrible. Adam, what happened? What is this?
So the first 30 minutes were quite good.
What I'm going to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, that's all that really matters, Yeah.
Famously.
All I ever really focus on. I kind of turned off after that. But no, see Arsenal go...
Act 1. It's where Shakespeare stopped, always. Just called it a day.
And it was a Shakespearean tragedy in many ways. Arsenal go 2-0 up after, I think it was 30 minutes, maybe slightly earlier than that. the usual kind of route that seems to be not just what Arsenal target, but a lot of teams target. Trent Alexander-Arnold, the space he leaves is cavernous. And Martinelli immediately, obviously figured that out. That was clearly a game plan to start off with, and Martinelli targeted him very early on. Scored after 8 minutes through a slightly fortunate deflection, or maybe it's just a sign of VVD's form that he just passed it straight to him, and that's just what he's doing now.
Didn't get a dribble pass though, did he?
No, that is true. Maybe that's all he's really concerned about now. He thought, just to stop this from happening, give it straight to him in the box.
That's the stats that matter. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So Martinelli assisted Jesus for the second. So I think it was quite clear that the left channel of Arsenal and the right flank of Liverpool, was where a lot of the action was going to happen down. And then I suppose the action kind of continued down there, because that is where at least I think most people were saying the game turned when Granit Xhaka and
here we go.
Trent Alexander-Arnold got a little bit unhappy.
2 questions that every fucking broadcaster, print journalist, anyone who talks about football has been asking anyone to do with Arsenal, Adam, so I'll ask you. Why not? 1, was this points dropped or a healthy point? And question 2, why did Xhaka do this, and is he a again?
Make sure you bleep that one this week. You didn't bleep it last week. You did let it through last week. I was very shocked.
Oh dear.
You're slipping.
That's why the Americans dropped off.
Yeah.
I think had you offered me a point before the game, I would have taken it. So in that sense, I'm not too disappointed with the result. And certainly the way the game ended, I was like, fucking Jesus Christ, stop the game now. So quite thankful for a point in the end. Was this the turning point? Is Xhaka no, because I think I kind of understand his reaction. Like I think it was a foul by Konate on him beforehand, and then TAA kind of comes over and shoves him. So I get why he's angry. And then I think there's still like another minute of ball in play, and there's another 10 Arsenal players on the pitch to stop the ball going in the net. It's not like every single Arsenal player was involved in a mass brawl and everyone lost their heads. It was one guy squaring up to another guy. Probably not the best idea. I obviously would prefer that he didn't do it, but was it the turning point? I really don't think it was, because I don't think you can say that then carried Liverpool through to when they scored their second goal in the 87th minute.
Well, this is it. And this is what I was vaguely leading you into, Adam, because I saw you tweeting about it. So I already knew your opinion on it. And I'm inclined to agree, because and in my question, I sort of mentioned every fucking podcast and broadcast. If I've lost count of how many times I've heard poke the bear, poke the beast, wake the beast. Like,
who's the beast?
It's been the Anfield beast, Chuck.
What Anfield beast? Biggest myth in football is the atmosphere at Anfield.
Well, yes, I'm inclined to be with you there. There is the anyone who's been to the atmosphere of a smaller ground, well, like Selhurst Park, I imagine, Chuck, you sort of you see atmosphere whenever you go, you know. So it's sort of it struck me that Adam's exactly right, that the goal was what ignited Anfield, and yes, it did. You know, there was a marked change in atmosphere after that, but it wasn't. I totally agree with Adam that it wasn't that instant that changed it. That instant maybe fired some of the players up, perhaps, and yes, you know, whatever. Maybe some players took their eye off the ball, perhaps. But Xhaka's gone from villain to hero, and some people want to turn him back into villain for just this one thing. It just seems a bit ridiculous to me. It seems incredibly reductive.
What impact do you think the linesman elbowing Andrew Robertson in the face had on the crowd?
I think it had a big impact on Roy Keane.
Yes, Roy Keane, the big baby.
Is that what Roy Keane called it? Well then, here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Robertson a big baby.
Here I am on Roy Keane's side. Look at me over here.
Well, I think what we've got to understand is that
Andrew Robertson is an aggy little prick.
the
The linesman wanted him to fuck off, and you probably shouldn't be accosting referees all the time. So he raised his arm and shrugged it off and tapped him on the chin. He's like, my chin, he's just helping me. Fuck off. Maybe don't accost officials at every turn.
Exactly.
I think he should get a free punch. The referee should get a free punch on one player every game. And no player knows who it's going to be or when he's going to cash it in. But it's like, I don't know, what colour card could we have?
You said cash it in like it's money in the bank, and you just get Howard Webb running down the tunnel. He
Yeah,
just
with a
comes over and
giant,
headshots
yes,
Van
with a
Dijk.
giant metal briefcase. The referee gets to hit a player around the face with a giant metal briefcase.
That's Howard Webb's music. Fucking running down the tunnel. Yeah. Anyway, I think what we've got to remember is that it was a 50-50, and he hasn't gone out to injure the player. He's not that sort of linesman.
He's not endangered the life of the player.
He's not endangered his life, and we should look at it like that, really. No, he did elbow him in the chin because he was pissed off with him. This big fridge of a linesman. He's absolutely massive, and quite enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, they've stuck in that he's not going to be officiating while they're looking into it. I mean, promote him. I say, put him in Champions League. Let's get him.
More referees doing that. More referees doing that. Referees should be allowed to do that. They should. By the same token that they should have to come out and explain themselves, they should be able to just push players the fuck away from them. Just be like, piss off. Why do I have to sit it? It's like the argument we have with fans abusing players, right? Fans are allowed to say whatever they want, but as soon as a player does anything, oh, well, this is it. It's ridiculous. They're supposed to be professional. And it's the exact same with players to the refs. Like, fuck them. More players deserve to be elbowed in the face.
I did enjoy
a public service announcement
in the Sky Sports studio where, like, Roy Keane did his little baby rant where they all left it hanging, and then Roy Keane just again went, baby. And then they all start laughing, and even Roy Keane started, like, he couldn't help himself. He knew that was fucking viral gold, you know, and he couldn't help himself. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, like, yeah, exactly what you say. This is like the logical conclusion of what happens when players just rush towards the referee. Of course, he's gonna get some ban or something. And yeah, fair enough, because, you know, violence is never the answer. But bit funny,
Robertson will think about doing it again, won't he?
Exactly.
Look at that. The consequences of your own actions.
Coming towards you in the space of the form of a Greek-named fridge of a linesman.
Konstantin Hatzidakis.
It's a good name, isn't it?
Strong name.
Yeah, really good name. Anyway.
I'd like to go out for souvlaki with him.
Absolutely. Is that analysis? Is that what we've done there? Is that
analysis? I'm
analysis?
Bored of talking about Liverpool Arsenal. Sorry, Adam.
It's a hell of a game, though. We've just mostly talked about the linesman.
Well, you said... all right, well, you just keep going then. I'll just sit here. But don't you complain about us going too long, all right?
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to drive this beast along. We've got sackings to talk about.
Yes, okay.
We've got stupid new managers to talk about. You know.
Okay. I thought it was just interesting what Adam said, that he would take a draw before and after the game.
Ian, we both knew he was lying to himself. Absolutely ridiculous. Liverpool are fucking shit. This should have been 3 points in the bag for Arsenal. And you can no me all you want, Adam. Ridiculous. 5:38, have it 58-42 now.
It's really gone, it's gone the other way now, isn't it?
Well, one thing I will say that kind of does slightly talk to Chuck's point is, even though Liverpool were the better side in the second half, and kind of the narrative is that they were absolutely peppering Arsenal all game, they didn't have a shot between the 57th minute and the 81st minute. It was only when Arsenal made substitutions in the 80th minute, and we brought off Martin Odegaard, and we brought on a young centre-back called Jakub Kivior, switched to a back three, and I think that kind of really put I think it set our shape out a little bit wrong.
Stupid.
It allowed Liverpool the advantage in terms of territory, and I think Arsenal just sat off a little bit too much. And even then, we had the chance right at the end of the game, if Martinelli just gets his pass to Saka right, Saka's through 1-on-1 against Alisson, which would have been a great chance. But hey ho.
Dare I say it, that move, that substitution, really feels like Pep overthinking. Like, I know.
Do you think that's the substitution that lost you the title?
To be honest, it reminded me more of Tottenham. To be honest, I thought it was a very Antonio Conte thing to do.
Oh, no, sorry, Adam, that's just enjoyable. It's the Arsenal fans. No, actually, it's Tottenham, is it?
Well, we shat the bed, so, you know.
Well, the problem is for you that this week, in the odds of, in the face of overwhelming adversity, I guess we can give them Burnley of the week?
Oh, well, we're doing an actual one, okay.
Yeah, go on, why not?
Ooh, they're better than they ought to be.
Wait, scratch it.
Oh, shit. What we doing?
Never mind, you can't get Burnley of the week against Brighton. Every result against Brighton is fully deserved. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. Tottenham generating 0.8 XG to Brighton's 1.4. What happened? Referees have had to apologise to Brighton again. Don't apologise, fuck them. Both managers got sent off. There should have been loads of penalties. Stellini was just stood there stoically watching a fracas occur to his left, in complete contrast to his predecessor and friend Antonio Conte, who probably would have had De Zerbi by the throat, and still got sent off with a full mug down to camera after it happened. Like, what the fuck?
Well, okay, let's deal with the managers first then, because that started before kickoff. Apparently,
did it?
Yeah, before kickoff, De Zerbi and Stellini were I was going to say at each other again. It was De Zerbi. Apparently, it was something to do with an interview in the Italian press, or some comments in the Italian press where Stellini had been praising Potter to the nth degree, like to an offensive degree apparently, and De Zerbi wasn't happy with it. So decided before kickoff he was going to have a pop about that. And then, during the game, all kicks off, and apparently Stellini was sent off for not controlling his bench. Which...
Well, that makes no sense. Don't leave the troublemakers there.
Yeah, individual
you
members...
there, innocent bystander. You didn't stop this burglary. To jail with you.
Well, individual members of the bench can be sent off, so send them off. Like, it was very odd. And De Zerbi was looking for Needle all game, and he was fired up because this was one of the worst refereeing performances I have ever seen.
Funny.
And that is multiplied by VAR, which obviously only has referees in front of it, annoyingly. So it was just, it was very, very poor from the officials because, how many incidents were there that you need to think about here? There was... So there was Mitoma's goal that was chalked off when it was very much controlled with this above the sleeve, which I believe was what we were originally told was the t-shirt line, weren't we told, for handball? Yeah,
I think we were. To be honest, that was the least egregious of all of them.
I'm trying to think of what the other ones were. So there was then, there was McAllister's goal that was chalked off. That one actually felt the least to me because, I say that. Was it originally given as a goal? It was, wasn't it? And VAR's only supposed to get involved if there's a clear and obvious error. We all know this.
There was a clear and obvious error. Brighton had scored.
Stop it, Chuck. Seriously, you have to stop it because if you see some of the fucking things on this game...
You clearly don't know me.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm going to stop it.
But you have to. Because
I will serve my own agenda, sir.
Oh, my word. And then there was...
The big ones, it was Dunk's shirt pull and Mitoma being trodden on by Højbjerg. Yeah.
Honestly, I was genuinely struggling to think of all of the incidents that there were where Brighton got fucked. Listen to you. Fucking hell. He went for the ball,
Went for the ball.
Yeah.
Well, and missed it and stood on his foot.
No, it was foot to man. It was foot to man.
Sure. Honestly, Brighton got absolutely fucked here. And it was great to see...
Yeah, it was great to see. End. Finish of section. So, next game.
No, I'm not letting you do this, Chuck. Not
Chelsea
yet.
is still shit, and now they've got Frank Lampard.
Honestly, Son scored his 100th goal, and it was absolutely lovely. We're not going to let him have that.
Done. There you go. Why is Frank Lampard back? What?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Is this?
Yes, let's talk about that.
Go on, Adam. I'll let you go because I don't know whether I have thoughts that are just Frank Lampard hatred adjacent. So you go.
If you're expecting me to offer anything else,
no, I just want reinforcement, please.
Well, I mean, obviously Wolves won 1-0, and I'm shocked that Frank, getting the club, wasn't able to immediately turn around their fortunes. I thought
because he knows the stadium, he knows the ground
exactly, and he knows not the players because they've signed a whole bunch of new ones.
He doesn't know any of them.
But he knows the coaching. Oh wait, no, it's a different coaching staff. Yeah. But he knows it's a different owner and a different hierarchy in the board.
Actually, Chuck, you're right. He just knows which toilets don't block. That is
he
it.
literally just knows the stadium. That is about it, because everything else at Chelsea has changed.
Yeah, but the problem is this was at Molineux, so even that he couldn't even lend on that knowledge. You know, he had absolutely no chance. They appointed him. He's a home manager. They should have appointed an away manager and a home manager.
But yeah, Chelsea were just like genuinely awful. They're so. The biggest problem with Potter's Chelsea was the kind of lack of final product and lack of finishing of their chances. But I mean, at least they created chances. Chelsea had one shot on target against Wolves, who before this game were still very much in the relegation fight. And I have no idea how anyone thought. I get the emotional aspect for Chelsea fans, that they're happy to have Frank Lampard back and that the time under Potter hasn't been enjoyable for them. But if you look at it objectively and take that emotion out of it, I really don't understand how Frank Lampard is a good appointment from a football perspective in any way. Like, he changed the formation to a back four and he put Cucurella at left back. It's like he's been underwhelming for them. He put Conor Gallagher in midfield and sort of tried to recreate. Basically, must have said to him, go and do what I used to do, because Conor Gallagher was like trying his hardest, bless him, but not really pulling anything off. His passing was pretty wayward. And then he had a front three of Havertz, Sterling and Felix. It's like individually, as part of a different system, they might be able to work, but there just doesn't appear to be any cohesion between the three of them. And yeah, it was just really, really dreadful stuff.
I stand by everything I said last week, that I don't see why, because when we recorded last time, I think Potter had been sacked, but had just been sacked that day. Sorry, but Ian's already dated it, so it's fine.
Yeah. I've not got a leg to stand on. So.
That I stand by the situation of, okay, fair enough, that there's no one really you can get in good enough now that's going to build to the future, and then, you have to kind of get a firefighter or something, but I don't understand what does Lampard achieve between now and the end of the season that Graham Potter wouldn't have? You know what I mean? Like, there's no track record of him sorting out a situation or being able to deal with anything or do anything other than know maybe the tea lady at this point, or which toilet doesn't block, as Ian so eloquently put it.
It's important, right?
It doesn't make any fucking sense. No, there's no way. And Adam, you say about the emotional connection and Chelsea fans being happy. I think it's more rival fans being happy that Frank Lampard's there than Chelsea fans being happy, because it just gets worse. They don't climb the table from here. I don't see how it does. He failed at Chelsea. He failed at Everton. He failed at Derby. He just. But yet, in true fucking Tory style, he's just back. He's just back, guys. Yeah, with a load of money. Yeah, it's absolutely baffling.
Epitome of an English person failing upwards. I was going to play Oscar's thing, but I will just quickly come in with my opinion, which echoes Chuck's entirely. He's never done anything that makes me think that there's any reason to, because as we said, the only reason you do this is to bring someone in who can win you the Champions League. And sure, it worked with Di Matteo.
They're about to play Real Madrid this week.
But he's never succeeded anywhere. And Oscar will say, and might say in the voice clip that I'm about to play that I haven't listened to, that he didn't get his chance fully at Chelsea. But the fact is that he hasn't succeeded anywhere, and that includes Chelsea. Now, maybe he was cut short, but that includes Chelsea. He was not doing anything that could even vaguely be described as successful. So he hasn't succeeded at Derby, he hasn't succeeded at Chelsea, he hasn't succeeded at Everton. Exactly what Chuck said. Let's listen to Oscar.
Right, let's get this out of the way, because the real story at Chelsea is obviously not whatever happens this weekend, but Frank being hired.
He recorded this last week.
If you're a Chelsea fan and you're angry about this, you're actually just angry that we hadn't given up on the season yet, or rather, you hadn't given up on the season yet. It's been nothing but vibes for weeks. Have you listened to any of these? Why wouldn't we pick Frank? Obviously, the season is done. Nothing matters about the results. We're not going to get relegated. We're not going to make Europe anyway. We just need vibes, and we need someone who's pretty decent with youth players. And last time around, he gave us Reece James and Mason Mount. And hey, maybe he'll get Mason Mount to sign a new contract. This is great. This is a good thing. There's zero expectations on Frank, so who cares if he loses a bunch? He just gets to come in and be the guy who made everyone happy again. And for Chelsea fans, who else better to fix the vibes than literally our greatest of all time player? If Michael Jordan wants to coach the Bulls for half a season, even if he's going to suck, you hire Michael Jordan to coach the Bulls for half a season. Derp. I know this went long. Chuck's going to be angry, but I don't care. This is a really big story. I'm sad I'm not on the show to defend him. Go Chelsea. This is great. I'm very happy about this. Yay.
Okay, I think we need to check in on him.
Yeah.
He's clearly not in a good place, guys.
No, the thing is, no one loves Oscar more than me, and specifically, no one loves free accommodation in America more than me. But I just don't understand this.
That's insane.
This take, I don't, and I think bringing through Mason Mount is an interesting one. He had him at Derby on loan, so he knew he was a good player. Chelsea's loan army is always going to produce good youth players. The league stuff, because I do get what Oscar's saying about the league. There's no good things happening in the league, but yeah, that's exactly it. So you could have given Potter...
So you could have left him, the manager who was given time. He was given a 5-year contract. He was given all these fucking players that are sat in the corridors getting changed. Players that don't have chairs at team meetings. Players that are having to play it in second 9 versus 9 games to do it. It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. There's no way that just serious, ridiculous.
The only reason to change manager was the 5% or lower chance of winning the Champions League, and that requires someone who is proven, who knows what and it's not Frank. And I just think vibes aren't enough to take you from that 5% chance of winning the Champions League.
But how does he get good vibes? How does he get good vibes? What is that? He's a bad manager. The fans are toxic. They're going to keep playing like absolute shit. He's not going to know any of these players. And again, if it is to get vibes from certain players, he's only going to pick certain players, which is only going to alienate and ostracise their monstrous squad.
Where are we going to be if you're a Chelsea fan next season? You are going to have a new manager with a presumably shitload of new players from the summer transfer window as well. And the thinking behind this is beyond. I just genuinely don't understand it. I don't even understand it from a Todd Bowley.
It's a full admittance and a full acknowledgement that so far you've fucked up everything for me. That's it. I compare it the exact same as Palace getting Hodgson in. It's the exact same. It's a completely having to show publicly now, we had no fucking clue. We've fucked it by not backing the manager or doing things in the wrong way or not having a coherent strategy that's over-encompassing. And now we're just having to do something for a reason. Palace's side is obviously to try not to get relegated. The fixtures turned anyway, so I'm going to still maintain that it probably would have happened anyway. Like all those players are there, nothing's really changed. But for Chelsea, what if your season's done? Okay, well then clearly he's just got free hit.
Honestly, we should try in the next week or so. We should try and get Oscar on with the three of us and to talk it out, because I feel like giving him a 1 minute. No, but honestly,
I feel like if we berate him enough, he might change his mind. We need to go on. We need to get him public, and we need to go on the attack.
No, but giving him 1 minute in a voice memo, which was recorded before the Wolves result. Not that he will necessarily change his opinion based on that, obviously, but I just feel like it's unfair. Like we need to give him some right of reply more than the voice note, but I only am going for it, Oscar, and I'm talking directly to you now. I'm only going for you, Oscar, on this thing because you are literally the only person I've heard So
And
this
Ian
might
knows
be
upwards of 27 people.
And Ian knows lots of Tories. So
exactly, people just like Frank.
And if they're out on him,
and I haven't heard anyone other than Oscar say this is a good idea. So or not even a good idea, an acceptable idea. So
Yeah.
I think we'll pop a pin in this. We'll genuinely. I would love to see if some point in the coming weeks we can get the four of us on a pod and we can talk it out with him, because I'd love to know beyond just vibes, because we've talked about the vibes don't win you a Champions League. Maybe they do. Di Matteo won.
they have to be really, really fucking good vibes.
You know what I mean?
Like, it needs to be really good, and it needs to be sustained. You can't just create... There's no vibes.
Yeah.
There's not even the seed of vibe that you could water and grow into the plant of vibe at the moment. It's just a fucking barren, salted wasteland.
Yeah. I'm inclined to agree. Now, Chuck, you briefly mentioned Palace there, and I think it is... I know you're out on them, but...
Yep.
5-1. So 5-1 to Leeds. A very similar game in a way to the Arsenal Liverpool one, in that it was a total game of two halves. Leeds were probably upset to not score more than one goal in the first half, and then Palace just went to town on them. Now, you've mentioned about the fixture change, which we all knew was coming. I mean, we've been me and you have been talking about this for a while now, that Palace's fixtures are going to change, and that your run-in is absolutely brilliant. So if you could just stay sort of roughly where you were, you'd be absolutely fine, because just naturally through fixtures. So Hodgson Ball is not going to get any love from you. I know that, but is the fact that you're out on Palace at the minute? How do I want to articulate this? What I'm saying is,
wrong, Chuck.
No. I don't, because I know he's disappointed to see Vieira go, and I get that. But like, Hodgson's come in as a temporary appointment. I presume there's no chance of him getting the job. Now
there's every chance of him getting the job.
Is that the main worry?
This is my
really
issue.
think that?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Because I mean, obviously, I think things are sort of trending upwards slightly, and like you say, and like you guys have been saying,
points are a trend.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I kind of just assumed that would be
6 points away from Chelsea.
Well, exactly. And I said this to you guys. There's not a 0% chance Palace finish above it, Chelsea. Given the
I'm not even going to be able to enjoy it, guys, because it's going to be Hodgson.
Of course,
I'm not even going to be able to enjoy it.
Come on. Especially if we get Oscar back on the pod at the end. Come on, Jack.
Not even going to be able to enjoy it.
I'll enjoy it. What the fuck?
You can enjoy it. That's fine. I'm dead inside. All is dust.
Oh, man. Okay. Sorry, Adam, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I was more just reacting to the fact that Chuck thinks there's a chance Hodgson could get it at the end of the season. Because, I mean, even in this game, Leeds were like very firmly on top for the first, like you say, it was a bit like the Arsenal-Liverpool game for the first sort of 30, 40 minutes. Bamford scored what feels like his first goal in absolutely ages. It was a really, really good header.
Genuinely feels like he gets one a season.
Yeah, no, he's only fit for like 2 games a season,
yeah, exactly,
so that makes sense.
It's quite a good return then, 1 in 2.
Yeah. Shearer levels.
But then the second half comes about, and Jordan Ayew, the world's greatest striker, who knew it?
Reborn.
Is that the first time in a Premier League game he's scored 2 goals? It must be. I don't even know if that's true, but I'm saying it is.
Cool.
I mean, almost certainly.
We've fully indoctrinated Adam if he's just making up stats now. I'm here for it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Elise was absolutely beautiful to watch all second half. It was so good. Only slightly upsetted me because he was first on my bench in FPL. So to watch him turn out a hat-trick of assists was most upsetting for me personally, and just indicative of my FPL fucking season thus far. I just wanted to check in with you, Chuck, that
it's just because I know more pain's coming. That's it. That's why I can't enjoy this.
The pain of a Hodgson season.
Yeah, I can't enjoy it only being there till the end of season. So therefore, I can't enjoy this because it's just all going to get taken away from me.
So here's a hypothetical for you. Would you rather be in the Premier League under Roy Hodgson for next season, or be relegated and there's no chance he manages you next season?
Oh, no chance of Hodgson. I just got a little smile on my face.
And in your pants.
Championship football, Palace, Peterborough. Oh, it's all happening.
I mean, if there's got to be a way for us to get the final Mop Derby out of the way. We've had all the other permutations.
Okay. Well, we can spin through a couple of other games, I imagine. Villa are fucking Champions League form under Unai Emery, and 2-0 to Nottingham Forest, to look increasingly like it is good night Vienna for them. Are they going to keep hold of Steve Cooper for the Championship? They should, but will they?
I'm surprised he's still there now, to be honest.
If they were going to make the change, they'd have done it by now, wouldn't they?
Well, you'd think that with the international break, and then you look at what Leicester did. Leicester had the international break, left Rodgers in, and then waited another 2 games, and then fired him.
Yeah.
You know,
that is the most inexcusable thing for me. It annoys me so much when clubs do that. It's like, you've had so much time to make this decision. One game shouldn't radically alter your perception of the direction a manager is taking your club in. It really shouldn't. But I suppose Cooper's probably in the weird position is, if he does get sacked by Forest, there's probably a club that stays up in the Premier League that would look to appoint him.
I wouldn't be surprised, because we've been linked with him before, if he was to go to Palace, if Forest were relegated. Palace have tried with Cooper before. And, you know, his track record, what he did with Swansea previously was really good. A lot of young players, England, under-17 World Cup, that kind of thing. I can see that any club that's looking at a kind of academy type thing.
Yeah.
And pushing that, I can see him coming in.
It's funny with some managers how they leave a club. Like Brendan Rodgers, I feel like he could weirdly get a better club than Leicester for his next appointment. And yet Potter's going to get a worse club than Chelsea. And then, I mean, and you've got various other sort of sackings, and you just think, where are they gonna slot in? I don't know. It's very weird with the managerial situation at the minute. Because then you've got Gary O'Neill, total unknown. We were taking the piss out of him as a competition winner for Bournemouth, and he's showing good stuff. I mean, Bournemouth were way better than the 1-0. For against Leicester, but that is maybe also a indication of how absolutely fucking woeful Leicester were.
Dean Smith's Leicester, no less.
What's happened with Leicester this week? We've had Potter said no. Jesse Marsch originally looked like he was nailed
Potter
for it.
said no. Jesse Marsch had talks. They were looking at Rafa Benitez.
So obviously they end up with Dean Smith.
Yeah, they ended up with Dean Smith.
But Marsch said, no, because I don't think they're set up for the Championship. It was the well, not the quote, but
what a great dig!
The rumour I heard, they're not even set up for the Championship, because we all know they're going to lose a shitload of players from out of contract and various. Or last year a contract who are going to be looking for a way out if they get relegated. 538 have got them at a coin flip basically for relegation now. It's a weird one with managerial merry-go-rounds and how it works out. So, and somehow David Moyes is still in his job. So it's unbelievable at the bottom there, and we've seen such a mad season of sackings and stuff.
Just looking at it, that Leicester team gets fucking gutted if it goes down.
Obviously, it's all about the finances of the owners who were massively hit by COVID, because it's all tourism that they rely on, specifically in Thailand, isn't it? And Thailand's tourism was just absolutely decimated from COVID. So I mean, they just lost all ability to think about even re-upping contracts, and so that's where we are now, and that. That's why they lost Kasper Schmeichel, and with no decent goalkeeper replacement, and Jamie Vardy's coming to the end of his useful lifespan as a footballer. But he'll be on Disney Plus documentary soon, so it'll be fine.
Yes.
And they'll lose Maddison, and presumably for no money at all. But it's
Maddison, Tielemans, Tete that they just brought in, fantastic winger.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes will probably go.
Yeah.
One of Iheanacho or Daka will go, or both.
Oh,
who else? Castagna. Ricardo Pereira.
They could get relegated and then gutted, and then Christ knows.
Imagine if they went through the trapdoor. Imagine if they went through the trapdoor, like a Sunderland trapdoor.
Yeah, you could absolutely
It's not out of the question.
see a scenario where it happens. Or Dean Smith could save them like Pearson, and then next year they win the Premier League.
Listen, I said it last week. I must have known because I brought up Dean Smith last week. Has a decent hairline, lovely Midlands accent. You know, he's there. He's got all of the boxes that need to be ticked.
Those two, yeah, okay.
You know,
Yeah, no, 2 big boxes.
Pep's not got them, has he? Yeah, bald fraud.
Sorry,
So-
you nearly got a spit take out of me there. He's certainly not. He's certainly not got those 2 boxes ticked. What a fucking idiot!
Exactly. Bournemouth kind of, just to kind of round out a bit of the kind of relegation-y chat, obviously Bournemouth have kind of pulled their way out of it. Leeds, we're not too sure at the minute. Southampton, Swarvy McTurtleneck, RIP, we hardly knew ye. They're at 80%. Chances are that's not a
He looked like
situation
a
that's...
broken man after the Man City game.
But very well dressed.
Very well dressed, a very well dressed broken man, but yeah, sure.
Mhm. Yeah, a very professional job, I guess, of a 4-1. Bless City, giving him a goal.
Haaland doing bicycle kicks he doesn't even need to do.
I mean, but the main thing that all those teams around there have that, like, Forest don't have, for example, is that all the other teams play each other. So there's lots of opportunities for points. Forest down there, the only team they play is Southampton.
Right.
That's below them, whereas if we shift to Southampton, I did just have it up, sorry. Southampton still have to play Bournemouth, they play Forest as well, so there's a couple there, that's why they're down. Leeds play Leicester, they play Everton, so you know, a lot of opportunities to get points there that probably messes up the percentages and skews them in their favour. Yeah, Leicester still have Wolves, Leeds, Everton to play, West Ham as well, who, you know, David Moyes is still there at time of recording, but who knows. A win, well done. They done a win.
1-0 at Fulham, yeah.
Against Fulham. And then European form at the other end is Newcastle, who are now 85% to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
With Man United at 79. And then a steep drop off down to your Tottenham, Brighton, Liverpool. That team is just going to be a juggernaut. Fucking ugh.
Yeah, I mean, considering where they're already at, that is
Just
scary. Yeah, when they actually start flexing the financial muscles.
yeah.
My word.
Although Ivan Toney missed the penalty. That's the
He
real
did.
story here, isn't it?
Yeah,
That was weird.
Yeah. It's
How
weird
much did that hurt you?
Well, not at all, because I had a bet on it. I heard on some I heard on some forum that he might miss a penalty.
Right.
No.
Allegedly.
We go now to a Mr. I. Tony from Middlesex.
Ivana Tonetto.
Yes.
Yeah. Fair play to him for stepping up for the second one, though. Obviously, that was the first one he's missed in the Premier League. First one he's missed since he played for Peterborough, actually. He didn't miss one for Brentford in the Championship either. So
Yeah, it was in the 30s, wasn't it, in a row?
yeah, it's
I think
crazy good form. And yeah, fair play to him for stepping up for the second one. Yeah, God, Brentford are going to miss him when the inevitable ban comes in. They really are. Because he's been superb for him. I mean, I hope they've got a backup plan. This is an absolute side issue, just because I love the soap opera of the post matches. But Thomas Frank afterwards was brilliant when asked about Newcastle and the performance they'd put in, and he just goes, "Oh yeah, £63 million Isaac, yeah, he'll do that."
Yep. Well, I thought that when you were saying they haven't spent crazy money the other week, it's like, yeah, they spent 30. Like, wasn't Joe Linton like 40? I know he was bad before. Guimaraes was like 38. They spent 20 million for Chris Wood, for fuck's sake, who's instantly gone.
40 million on Gordon, just in January or something like that.
Yeah, Anthony
Okay,
Gordon.
Joe Willock was 30 million.
When you rack it up like that, I couldn't afford it. Like,
When you do the numbers,
When you present the numbers of this addition problem,
you can use facts to prove anything that's even remotely true. But that's a good point. But you know what I'm saying. Maybe it's not just the levels of when Man City got took over and Robinho got signed for 30 million, and I lost my mind. I was like, 30 million for a player? That's absolutely outrageous.
I think it's they haven't done anything dumb yet. Basically, like they might have spent a lot of money. They've spent it quite smartly.
Yeah,
and they haven't.
It's annoying, isn't it?
It's annoying.
It is
really annoying. And it's Eddie Howe as well. I just hate all of it.
That must stick in your craw specifically.
Fucking hate him. Well, there we go. That's Game Week 30. Tick.
Lovely.
We don't have a quiz because Ian gave up. Next week's games: Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Brighton, Everton, Fulham, Southampton, Palace, Spurs, Bournemouth, Wolves, Brentford, Man City, Leicester, West Ham, Arsenal, Forest, Man United and Leeds, Liverpool. Say goodbye, Adam.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your... Hopefully you're out of captivity soon. Not going to lie. Say goodbye, Ian.
See ya.
And big thanks to our producer Patreons, Nate, Jeff, Andy, Tom, Sam. Cheers. That's all of it. Bye.
Captivity, like I'm in some sort of zoo at the airport.
Yeah.
Just hope he doesn't breed.
With myself.
Wait, there's a zoo at the airport?